I know the topic tonight was about fear and stuff, and one of my fears is speaking to a mic. I like using my natural voice. Where I work at a school here at the Hawaiian Immersion School, Kikula Ehunui Kamalino. I'm going on 10 years. I've been in the program for about well over 20 years. And one of the things the program has taught me is to use your natural voice. You project your message through your natural voice, so sometimes I fear the mic, but I'll give it a shot. First of all, thank you to Ian, and then as well as Bruce. Before I even came up here tonight, I went home and took a nap. We had a teacher institute today at Kealakea High School. So I went home thinking it was going to be a half an hour nap. It turned into about a 2-hour nap. As I woke up, regularly I checked my phone, and I looked on it, and I had an email, and it had Bruce along with his last name, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, who is this? You know, and I click on that thing, I open it up, and it says, hey, let me know when you arrive. I'm 6 feet tall. I'm so-and-so and all. And I'm sitting there, who is this guy? And I send back with question marks. So finally I realized I'm supposed to be up here, you know? And the reason why I was confused because prior to being up here tonight, we just got done doing the Molokai to Oahu canoe race. And I was cleaning up my emails because I had just so much emails with canoe paddling that started back in March. And I keep a communication with my men through face-to-face, and I also follow up with emails. So that way they don't miss anything. Or if they did miss something, they'll get it visually. So I decided to clean up my emails. So when I got the email, I was trying to track it back, and I was just trying to figure out who is this guy, and am I being set up for something? So. But anyway, my name is Eddy Hayward. I'm actually from Kauai, which is north from here. It's as you get to the end of the Queen Kahumanu Highway, you can go left to go down to Kauai to go up to Kohala. Those houses right there on the hill is Kauai Village. So I've been raised there for about 18 years there. Moved over to Hilo for University of Hawaii at Hilo. Had an opportunity to play basketball as a walk-on, and it's a lot for a local kid, you know, not being scholarships. And I had no intentions to go to college. What took me to college was be able to go play basketball. My plan was to go and just play 4 years and then walk away. And then do the hotel thing like my family's been doing, which is about a mile from our house. But it was that point in time where when I went over to UH Hilo, I had this thing, canoe paddling. Growing up in Kauai, a very hot place. There's not much around. We only had like a little mom and pop store. And our only outlet was canoe paddling, which was just down the street from us. And both my parents had busy schedules. My dad would work from 6:30 till 5. My mom would work from 5 till 12 o'clock that night. So it was hard for us to go anywhere. But lucky enough, we had friends that we went to school with at Waimea School. And they had their parents who offered their vehicles, turned their trucks into portable vans, and they transported us. And they actually became like our extended mom and dad. And our parents were totally happy with that knowing that someone's gonna oversee my kids. So we had an opportunity to go down and paddle. And when we went down to paddle, it was just to go get wet and go swim and hang out with friends. But later on, I didn't realize later in life that how paddling became such an important thing to me. As I got older, I went to University of Hawaii at Hilo. Again, just to play basketball. I did paddle every once in a while, but it was that moment in time when I got done playing basketball in Hilo. I ended up my job in Hilo teaching at the Hawaiian Immersion School. And I felt a little bit disconnected. Like I was in Hilo, but I wanted to be in Kauai. And at that point in time, I was driving back and forth to go paddle with Kauai. But the gas was getting kind of heavy for me. And at that time, it was cheap. But now, at that time, not having a secure job, it was hard to travel. So I paddled for a local club in Hilo. It was fine, but it wasn't the same. Not how I grew up with. And nothing against them. It was just a different atmosphere. It wasn't until as I was living in Hilo, our canoe club was going through a new transition. If you've ever been at Kauai Harbor, as you get to the end of the road, you'll see that beautiful area. Other than Kauai, I know Keoho has a great paddling site, but I believe Kauai has probably the best paddling site across the state, probably in the world. And at that time, the person that was running the show decided that he wasn't going to do it anymore. And at that time, we had a lot of people coming through. It seemed like there was a lot of developers coming through. And I looked at it, and I'm just like, I hate to see this place look different. I grew up like this, and I wanted to stay like this. When my kids get older, when I do have kids, I want them to see what I grew up with. And I'm sitting there, and I'm thinking to myself, man, I think I want to do something, like give back. So I sat with a bunch of friends, we're sitting down having our drinks, and I threw out the idea. I said, hey guys, I think I'm gonna run for the coach position. And they're like, you're crazy, you live in Hilo. I was like, I don't know, there's something's telling me I need to come back and do it. It's like, so what are you gonna do? I was like, I'm gonna ask you guys to come help me. I'm gonna make a team. And I had about 8 people, we sat there and they all decided like, hey, if you're serious about this, we'll jump in and do it. And sure enough, they jumped in. We had people teaching the kids. We had our novice. We had the women and we had the men. And it was working fine. And I was driving back every day. I would be done with work at 3, headed out to Kauai, be there by 5, start practice at 5:30, get done at 7. If I had enough energy, I would drive back to Hilo, get home by 9, get a quick meal and go to sleep. If not, I would actually pit stop at my mom's house and then get up at about 5 o'clock and start heading to Hilo. And I did this every day. And people thought I was nuts, but I was doing it because I was worried about it. And I guess the topic was, what do you fear? And my fear was losing something that was given to me when I was a kid. I felt like if it got lost, I'd probably be the problem of why it got lost. So I felt like I needed to do something. So I thought that I was just gonna do it for a couple of years, do 2 years, get back, and then walk away from the sport. But it became so addictive. The people that I met, the networking of people that you come across, and doing this position, you find out who you really are. You find out your threshold. You understand what you can tolerate and what you cannot tolerate with. But it definitely helped me become the person that I am today. I had an opportunity. I met a great lady through paddling. She's been supportive. There's been some struggles, but she's been on my team from the day we met. And we have our girls who are in the canoe paddling, get them acclimated to the ocean, and just appreciate the sport for what it is. And then I came to Kona, had an opportunity. I actually went to just about every club in Kona. For what reason, I don't know. Was there thinking I was going to be there. I got relocated myself. Now I'm actually at Kaiapua Canoe Club, where it is the beginning of canoe clubs in Kona. It has such a strong tradition of winning. It has a strong tradition of history, the people that's been involved, the people who will be involved. And when I walked in there, one of the things I wanted to do was reconnect with the people who started the club, which was the Kanuha family, was to bring them back into the club at whatever possible level. I just felt like it's my responsibility to go and get the people who created something and bring them back, and hopefully it can expand out. I had an opportunity to deal with a lot of great guys. Ian's one of them. Just being able to have them come down and sharing something with them. You know, it's not just about canoe paddling, but it's what we do at our practices and that you can take home back to your family, something you can take back to your work site, something you can take into your community. Because canoe paddling has this mindset that it destroys family. It takes you away from reality, and it takes you to a make-believe world. And sometimes it's hard to come out of it. But in my position, what I want to do is we try to bring in, when you do canoe paddling, we want you to take in the culture as well. We don't try to push the religion on people, but what we want to do is remind them, when this was done in the years of past, people came together, they joined hands, and they prayed. They prayed for protection, they prayed for the beauty of everything, they prayed over the canoe, they prayed just about for everything. And at our practice, we want to make sure that when everyone leaves, we join hands together. Before it was a join hands, but now we are actually coming together. And we have a guy, we had the opportunity, we have 2 kahus, which is our people who are in the church. They were part of our group. And I asked them if they would be willing to go with our group with the Hawaiian's prayer. And they were totally moved by it. And they were just saying, this is the calling. And so we brought it in, and a lot of guys walked away with a lot of appreciation. Some of the people actually grew up in the church system, walked away from it, but they feel like they've been reconnected again. And being connected to the canoe, to the ocean, and the people that we work with in our group has been nothing but an uplifting experience. I just see it as a great experience. I know it's such a great, I mean, it's an addiction. I like it, I love it, it cleanses me. I know sometimes I tend to lose a lot of other responsibilities, but I got a great person who reminds me to stay on track, but it's just such a beauty. I was totally moved when I got the phone call to come here and do a speech. And of course it was canoe paddling, but there's so many things connected to canoe paddling that I'm still existing today. If it wasn't for canoe paddling, I don't think I'd be here in front of you. I don't think I would have the family that I have now. I don't think I would have the home that I have. I don't think I would have the job that I have. I honestly believe that everything that's happening with me today is stemming from canoe paddling. And it's such a great thing. You know, we just got done doing a race this past weekend, and usually you paddle from Molokai to Oahu, 41 miles, and usually you have the surf with you. But this past weekend, it was so grueling, it was sheer glass. It was basically the worst corner conditions that you could ever get. And add in the humidity as well. It just turned into a paddler's race. And of all the channels that I'd done before, this is the one that I want to wipe from my list or my years of doing it. I felt like I let 8 people down in our group. My fiance, who should have been my wife 10 years ago, has been on my side and saying it's part of the process, that's part of canoe racing. But the position that I take, I really want to serve others. And when we don't do as well as we did, that we should have done, I feel like I'd wasted their time. I took them away from their family. I took them away from their jobs and all that stuff. But that's the thing about canoe paddling. It really puts you in your place for me. And it's getting me to rethinking and how do I make this thing happen again for the better. Because it becomes selfish. It is a selfish sport in some sense. But we're trying to find balance. I'm trying to find balance. And again, I really, really appreciate paddling. Whether we're winning or we're losing. It's never about winning, but it's always about finding yourself and how do you, again, take this back to your family. How do you strengthen your family? How do you strengthen your work site? And how do you strengthen your community? So again, I thank you and Donkey Mill for this opportunity, for being here tonight to share with you guys. So mahalo nui.
What happened when you did all that traveling to Kauai High and put together those teams? What happened to Kauai High? How did they fare?
Mahalo.
You're being very humble.
Yeah, when I grew up in Kauai High has a strong tradition in winning. It was either between Kauai High or Kaiapua. So I had an opportunity to witness this as a kid. I had an opportunity and the privilege to be a part of some winning crews, be a part of this championship teams. At some point in time, Kauai High started to fall off the scale pretty far back. They weren't even considered a threat anymore. When I went back and we created our team, we actually went from being as far third place to pushing for second place. And then I think that first year or the second year, we actually won our own regatta in Kauai, which was, we didn't even think we were going to win the regatta. And of course, we beat Kaiapua at that time, which my fiance was pounding for that club. I was in Hilo at our school graduation, and I'm sitting there looking at the clock. I'm keeping in contact with people, and as soon as the graduation's done, I'm leaving. And we get back, and I'm asking the club, everybody in our club, bring your tuere drums, which is the Tahitian drums. Bring anything. Let's pump this thing up. Let's bring Kauai back to what it was before. And sure enough, we had a membership of about 200 people. And I got down there. It was just beautiful chaos. Just everyone cheering and encouraging each other. Kids beating the heck out of that tuere. And at the end of the day, we actually won our regatta, which was just unbelievable. And it really kicked up the pride down in Kauai. The sad thing about it is when I walked away, and I feel like, again, and this is just me again, they're not doing so well. I feel like I let the club down because they should be able to progress, and I don't think I did a well of a leadership. Because when you leave, they should be able to continue, you know? And I think sometimes my over leadership things doesn't allow too much people to come into play and help me organize this thing. So I don't know, that's one of the things I'm working, that's part of my fear is being able to let go and let other people come in and take over. So, but mahalo nui, yeah.